I am in the kitchen of the Bernard's Inn with Chef Corey Heyer, and he is going to show us a delicious dish that you can probably make for your Thanksgiving dinner, because you guys are making it for Thanksgiving dinner here.
Absolutely, we are indeed.
What are we making?
We're going to make a sweet potato ravioli, and this really captures the fall season. This has been on our fall menu for the past 5 or 6 years, and it's really become a signature dish here at the Bernard's Inn.
Now, as soon as I walked in here, it smelled of sweet potatoes, so I'm so excited to make this. Talk a little bit briefly about some of the ingredients we're using.
Well, believe it or not, the ingredients, this is one of those dishes where the ingredients just really marry so well. There's not a lot that goes into it. It's really just a matter of making sure you do all the steps properly. So, some perfectly roasted sweet potatoes, a little bit of honey, a little butter, and a little nutmeg. And that's going to make the filling for the ravioli.
Excellent. I can't wait. All right, Chef Corey, we are going to get started. So we have our sweet potatoes in our blender. We're going to add how much honey?
We're just going to add, we have 3 sweet potatoes in here. We'll probably add about a tablespoon of honey. You don't need too much. I don't want it to be like pie, just a little bit of sweetness to really bring out the sweetness of the sweet potato.
And I was going to say, I find when I do seasonal ravioli, I prefer the filling to not be very sweet.
Right, and then we're going to add about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons of butter. Again, you don't need a lot of butter, but you need a little bit of fat to make the puree creamy. And then we're going to add a little fresh grated nutmeg right over the top. And this just gives it that nice autumn flavor. As you can see, it just makes a really clean, smooth puree. I was going to say,
we're going to have to taste this now. Can I just have a spoon for that?
I know, it's awesome.
So to form our ravioli, we're not using pasta. These are wonton wrappers.
These are wontons. And one of the things about raviolis for me, and pasta in general, especially when you're doing something with a puree, is you want something incredibly delicate. That's really the beauty of this. So we found that the wontons, they're paper thin. I mean, you can literally see your hands
through them.
Right through them. Taking our filling, we've put it into a pastry bag, and we'll just put a little bit in the center of each one. Spray it down with a little water. And what this is going to do, it's going to make the ravioli stick. And I don't have to make all these, but I'll make a couple.
All right.
Or do you want to get in there?
Yeah, let's see. Put the lid on one over here.
Yeah. Now, as I was saying, cooks are ingenious. So we wanted to make these raviolis look nice and pretty. We took an old flashlight. We have a bandsaw in the kitchen that we use for cutting up bones, and they notched it out. So now we have a beautiful press that's going to give our raviolis a nice shape. It's got a nice handle on it, and you can literally just go down the line. You can give it a shot.
You guys are hilarious. I love this idea.
And then we take this and we cut it out to complete the deal. And we have this beautiful shape of the ravioli.
So making our sauce for our ravioli, what are we starting with here?
All right, so we're going to start with a basic beurre blanc. A little white wine, shallot, reduced down.
Okay.
And then we're going to just add some whole cold butter to it. So we've made it, it's almost like a liquefied warm butter sauce.
Okay.
And what we're going to add to it, which really captures, I think, this time of the year, is some brown butter. So brown butter is butter that's literally cooked down until the milk solids start to brown.
Okay.
And it gets this really nice, nutty flavor. So then what we're going to do, and maybe you can do this for me, is just over a low heat.
Certainly.
We'll just start to whisk that in. And while you're doing that, I'm going to start the vegetables for the garnish.
Okay. And what kind of veggies are we using here?
So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to scooch around you here. We're going to start with a little whole butter, and we're going to actually make a little brown butter again.
Okay.
But I like to start with the whole butter so you get all the flavor. So we're going to start with butternut squash. So we're going to have sweet potato in the puree of the ravioli.
In the ravioli and butternut squash.
The butternut squash. And the reason is the sweet potato, when it cooks down, it crumbles very quickly. Butternut squash will hold its structure a little bit better. Because the raviolis are so tender, we like to have a little bit of texture to this dish. So we're going to start with this. We're just going to saute it in the brown butter. And once this browns up a little bit, we're going to add our pumpkin seeds.
Now you were telling me these are special pumpkin seeds.
These are special.
They're green.
These are green, and these are from Austria. I actually get them from a little old lady down in Washington, D.C. And we're going to toast them, but they're really the only place in the world these pumpkin seeds come from.
Okay, now if special pumpkin seeds are not available, regular ones will do?
You know, believe it, they will absolutely do. And, and a great place to go is a Spanish market.
See, and that makes beautiful colors. I love it.
It does. So as soon as these are nice and tender, we're going to finish it with sage.
Now you have your sage shredded here, which I don't normally see.
So we call this a chiffonade.
Okay.
And what we do is we take the whole leaves and we cut it into little thin strips, and we want to add this to the fat right at the end because it'll bring all the oils out of the sage. And it won't overcook the sage. It'll keep its color, but you can really smell the
I was
flavor.
going to say, it smells incredible right here, you guys. I wish you could smell it. Again, smell-o-vision. I wish I had it.
Now, the secret with these raviolis, because we use the wonton skin, they cook very quickly. And you don't want to overcook them because they will start to get very soft. And really what you want to do is cook them just enough so the filling gets warm.
Okay.
And the wonton skins will be cooked. They're very delicate, very
now,
tender.
do these, typically I tell people if they've made fresh pasta, the second it floats, it's done.
Correct.
Do these float in the wonton wrappers?
You know, it really isn't about that. It's really about just making sure that you get everything cooked and warm through. And you don't have to cook the filling. It's already cooked.
Yes.
So it's really just a matter of getting it warm.
Getting it warm. Okay.
Yep. I'm going to add this right to the sauce. And what this is going to do is just going to...
We have stragglers.
It's going to give it a nice little coating. And again, you don't want this thick sauce on it. You want just nice,
right, and you
light,
can see how paper thin those wonton wrappers are.
This nice, light, buttery sauce on there.
So, plating our ravioli here, we have them all in their browned butter.
Absolutely. What we're going to do is we're going to lay these right across the plate. And what we like to do is we don't like to pile these up, but just a little overlay. And we do it in a nice straight line. And they're pretty rich.
I was just going to ask you, so now if you were going to serve this again, my friends tease me that we have Italian Thanksgiving because we always have a pasta course before everything else. So if you were going to serve this as a first course, how many ravioli per person?
I would go with 5.
About 5 ravioli per person?
Then we're going to put this garnish that we cooked, the butternut squash, the pumpkin seeds, the sage, right over the top.
Look how beautiful that looks.
And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to finish this with a black truffle pecorino.
Okay.
It's a cheese from Italy, sheep's milk cheese. And when they make it, they put little chunks of black truffle in it.
Okay.
And it really gives it that umami. That gives truffles have this really warm mouthfeel.
Look how beautiful this is. That is absolutely what fall and Thanksgiving look like. Chef, we need forks.
We do indeed. Let's eat.
Chef Corey Heyer, I can't thank you enough for letting us come into your cucina this week and showing us a great dish for the season. Let's dig in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming in today.
Let's see how we did here.
I think we did all right.
I think so. If I can get this one to break. These are excellent.
Not too bad.
These are excellent. That is it for this week in the cucina. I'll see you guys next week in mine.